The poor and wretched people in Nigeria are always used to settle scores. Because when it comes to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, everybody knows that this man is being held unjustly. That was the case of Senator Nwoko, tabled at Channels Television yesterday. That the issue you are seeing in the Southeast is because of the issue of the unjust treatment of the Southeasterners. He said that they are court orders that the federal government ignore. They have not obeyed about the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. So just imagine you as a person, how do you feel in a country where a court will give order to federal government and federal government will ignore the order and between what they are doing? How do you feel? I do not blame anybody. I blame, the poor masses who are the mercy of the rich people. When you go to social media, read the comments of people. These are just the poor masses that they are using to settle scores. The rich people in Nigeria knows that Nnamdi Kanu is being held unjustly. They understand the politics that is holding Nnamdi Kanu. They understand every, dynamics of this case. But the poor people will always come to social media and Nnamdi Kanu should focus on the trial. Nnamdi Kanu should be jailed. Nnamdi Kanu should... When I look at that, what do you know? What do you know about the case of Nnamdi Kanu?
I mean, not least, of course, the release of Nnamdi Kanu. They're asking for it. We know that that is something that has to be done. You would just say...
Nnamdi Kanu to be released.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course.
Why do you think so?
Nnamdi Kanu has been in custody for some time now. I believe that he has been held unjustly. Many people feel that way.
As a lawyer, do you think so?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That the judicial process is unjust?
Yes. Yeah, no, it has been, there's a lot of delays in prosecuting him and all that. If you want to get him tried and convicted, get on with it. But this is a guy who has been held unjustly aside, for so many months.
And the Buhari government started it.
I'm not talking about this government.
No, so the point I'm making now...
I'm talking about the previous government under Buhari.
When it's facing the judicial process right now.
Yes.
Saying it's just because the argument is that there should be a political solution, maybe a null prosecution. Prosecution should be established on that for the case to be withdrawn. But there are those who will say, well, there are allegations and it's left for the law for him to have his day in court, which is in process.
But as you know, there has been some pronouncements by the Federal High Court, which has not been respected.
Nnamdi Nwoko is not saying this because of anybody. I know the man. He is my senator, though. He's the senator representing the Delta North, senatorial district, the Anyoma people. And he is the one also championing Anyoma State. And he believes that Anyoma should be added to the southeastern part of the country. But that is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is just on what he said. Though he explained the reason he believes why we have agitations and crisis in the southeast. And I agree with him that it is because of marginalization. Now, to talk with, I have videos of Nnamdi Kanu, championing for one Nigeria, protesting for the betterment of Nigeria. I have videos of Nnamdi Kanu when he was making broadcasts. He said he had meeting with the southeastern governors. And only thing he demanded was not Biafra. He said he wanted to build bridge here, connect here, do this, tie this road, do this one. This is just what every normal human being could ask for. And when he started gaining attention, having people, his influence grew above political influence. And they criminalized his movement, ipob, by proscribing them. We all know, we knows all these things. We knows all these things. So my advice to poor people, when I mean poor people, does not mean you are poor like that, but you are poor in your expression, you are poor in your thinking ability, you are poor in your knowledge. They will always use you to settle scores. You saw these big men in Abuja. They meet, they talk about Nnamdi Kanu. They know that this man is free, but they are just holding him because of his influence. So they know all these things. They talk it within them. So don't come here on social media and begin to talk rubbish about Nnamdi Kanu.
On the floor of the Senate, and you have argued with your colleagues the need for an Anyoma state, and don't even begin the conversation around marginalization, because that's the first thing, because people will say we have Southwest 6 states, South 6 states, Northeast 6 states, North Central 6 states, Northwest 7 states, but Southeast 5 states. Is that part of the agenda to fix the Southeast that seems to be smaller in terms of the number of states, or what?
Well, almost just over a year ago, I had a meeting with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where I discussed about the problems of Southeast, the insecurity in Southeast. What do we do to address it? And he knows the problems, and he also has an idea. The whole idea is that there should be some level of equity extended to the Igbos of Southeast by having an additional state. It wasn't going to be an easy task, to create one, but it is doable. And I'm happy that we have come this far. The point is this: even at that time, it was understood that the problems of Southeast, the agitations of the youths of Southeast, the killings there, the referring to the ESN groups and ESN and ipob and the rest of them. These are young people who have come up to say that they are fighting for freedom because they are marginalized. And one of the areas that they've all spoken about and against is the fact that they are the only zone. Southeast is the only zone in Nigeria that has 5 states. Why is that? Why was it done intentionally to undermine them? Of course, yes. And from engaging those youths, it became so obvious that if a step is taken in creating one state, just one state, to bring it apart with 5 other zones, let's leave Northwest out of this now, at least bring it apart to the 4 other zones, then something would have been done for them. Yes, they are clamoring for different things, but I mean, not least, of course, the release of Nnamdi Kanu. They're asking for it. We know that is something that has to be done. You would just say
Nnamdi Kanu to be
released. Yes, yeah, of course.
Why do you think so?
Nnamdi Kanu has been in custody for some time now. I believe that he has been held unjustly. Many people feel that way.
As a lawyer, do you think so?
Oh yes. That
the judicial process is unjust?
Yes. Yeah, no, it has been. There's a lot of delays in prosecuting him and all that. If you want to get him tried and convicted, get on with it. But this is a guy who has been held unjustly, as I said, for so many months.
And the Buhari government started it.
I'm not talking about this government.
Trial. No, so the point I'm making now.
I'm talking about the previous government under Buhari.
When it's facing a judicial process right now.
Yes.
Saying it's unjust because the argument is that there should be a political solution, maybe a null prosecution. Prosecution should be established on that for the case to be withdrawn. But there are those who say, well, there are allegations and it's left for the law for him to have his day in court, which is in process.
But as you know, there has been some pronouncements by the Federal High Court, which has not been respected. So his incarceration is the main reason for the crisis in Southeast.
But the crisis started before he was even arrested.
No.
The killings, the burning of police station, the killing of police officers and all whatnot.
Well, look, the problem in Southeast is very different from what is in the Northeast or Northwest and all those areas. The problem in the Southeast has to do with the perceived injustice by governments, successive governments. So what needs to be done? And it's why I'm here today, talking about the creation of states to make up the number up to 5. And then you have the release of Nnamdi Kanu. By the time you do these 2 things, I am almost certain that peace will return to Southeast.
Let me ask you this question, Senator.
I have spoken to so many youths in from Southeast, and they have assured me that that they are prepared to be engaged by us, by the leadership. When this is done, they don't want to die. The youths don't want to die. They want to go back to schools. They want to go back to their jobs. All they want is some level of respect and acknowledgement by the nation, by the government of Nigeria.
I want to ask you, and